So today we will go to the next topic, that is the conic section. So general equation of a second degree in two variables. Okay. So two variables means x and y. Okay. So general equation of second degree in two variables in x and y is of the form ax square plus by plus bxy plus cy square plus dx plus ey plus everything. See, all the types of terms are there. X square there, product. This is called a product term. This is second degree. These are the second. First three are the second degree terms. Then this is also linear term, dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. So this is the general second degree equation. So we have the theorem. Theorem. The general equation of second degree in two variables x and y represents a unit. Represent a conic. Okay. So this is our theorem. The general equation of second degree in two variables x and y is not of the form, is represent a conic. The general equation of second degree in two variables x and y represent a conic. This is our theorem. Okay. Now we will prove this one. So prove. Okay. So the general second degree equation in two variables x and y is, we call this as 1. So it is our aim. Our aim is to prove that this equation represents a conic. This represent. You are familiar with this. Okay. So x square plus twice hxy plus by square plus twice gx plus twice fy plus c is equal to 0. This is also a general second degree equation. But here we have taken here ABCD, ABCDF, something like this. Okay. So you have seen that the pair of lines, right? So pair of lines you have seen, circle you have seen. Okay. You are also familiar with the parabola, hyperbola, as the conic section. Okay. So here also we are interested to see this represent a conic. Every second degree equation in x and y represent a conic. That we want to see. Okay. So we know that if this delta is equal to, this will be the delta. So delta is equal to. What about here? So you know that this is the second degree equation, represent a pair of lines if this is equal to 0. This is equal to 0. If this determinant is 0, you know that this equation represents a pair of lines. So same here, we compare this. What here? So this is A. A means what? The coefficient of x square. The coefficient of x square is A here. Okay. Now h means the product term. So your product term is what here? Xy. So this is what? B by 2. So just you have to write B by 2 because this is the symmetric matrix. Then what here? G. G is what? So G is what? The coefficient of x. What is your coefficient of x? Is D here. So this is what? D by 2. Then D by 2 will be here then. Okay. So here B now, your B is what? The coefficient of B. B is the coefficient of y square. Your coefficient of y square is what? C. Your coefficient of y square is C. Now here what then? This is F. F is what? The coefficient of y. Your coefficient of y is what? E. So this is what? E by 2. So this E by 2 should be here. And this is the constant term, and your constant term is F. So this is equal to 0. This is okay. So if delta is equal to this is equal to 0, then equation 1 represent pair of lines. Equation 1 represent. Directly we write this because we are familiar with this one. Okay. So suppose delta not equal to 0. So we suppose that delta not equal to 0. That means this is not equal to 0. Okay. So for that, okay. So before that, so what we will do? So first, what we have to show that this represents a circle, parabola, hyperbola, ellipse. Okay. So we know that this is the standard form of the parabola. Y square is equal to 4x. X square plus a square upon a square plus or minus y square upon b square is equal to 1. If plus is there, then that is ellipse. If minus is there, then it is hyperbola, right? And this is also what here? X square plus y square is equal to a square. This is the circle. Okay. So that means what here? There is no product term. there is no product term. So what we will do? We'll first remove the product term. Okay. So we know that how to remove the product term. Okay. So if you want to remove the product term, you have to rotate the frame with the particular angle. Okay. Rotate the axis. Rotate the axis. Rotate the axis through an angle. Through an angle. Theta is equal to 1/2 tan inverse of b upon a minus c. So here what the coefficient of x square and y square should be at the denominator, and it is what the product term coefficient of xy. Okay, so product term xy is at the numerator, and here what the coefficient of x square and y square are there. Okay, so coefficient of x square minus coefficient of y square. Note that is. Okay, so if you rotate the frame through an angle this theta, then your equation 1 becomes, then equation 1 transform to what? So your coefficients are changed now. Coefficients are changed and variables also change. Ax square plus by prime square plus here we will write c only. Okay, here we will write c. We will write a small letter. Okay, c. Okay, plus f we will write. All this as 2 now. Okay, so you have rotated the frame through an angle this. Okay, so if a is equal to c, then equation 2 means equation 1, and hence equation 1 represent circle, a circle. So this is not equal to 0. Okay, this is obvious. Okay, so suppose that a not equal to c, and a not equal to 0, c not equal to 0. Both a and c are not equal to 0. So what we will do? We write a x prime square plus d x prime. Don't need to take common here first. We correct terms of x prime and y prime. C y prime square plus e y prime plus f is equal to 0. Okay. So what we will do? We will take a common now here. This is x prime square plus d upon a x prime. We will take c common here. Y prime square e upon c y prime plus f is equal to 0. Plus a. Okay, so this is what a into, I will make this as a perfect square now. This is what x prime plus will be added. We have to multiply by half, so d upon twice a bracket square minus d square upon 4a square. Okay, so this will be plus c into, same thing here. This is what y prime. You have to make a perfect square. Write y prime square as y prime. Whatever the sign of the middle one is as it is. So this is a plus 1 plus sign. If it is minus, write minus here. Then multiply the coefficient of y prime by half. So this is what e by 2c. Okay, don't write y prime because we are writing the square. Okay, if x prime is what we get, then y prime square plus twice of that. When the 2 get cancelled, this is e by c y prime square minus e square upon 2 square. Plus e square upon 2 square, and that we don't want because that is not there. So whatever the plus sign or minus sign, so you have to subtract. This is what e square upon 4c square. Okay, plus f is equal to 0. So just I am writing this to a second equation here. This is your 2, just I am writing here because I don't have the space. Okay, Now what I will multiply this and I will shift that minus side to that side. What we get then? X prime plus d upon twice a bracket square plus a into, okay, so plus c into y prime plus e upon twice c bracket square is equal to d square upon 4a plus d square upon, okay, e square upon 4c. One c get cancelled because we are multiplied by c, and f is this is f, okay, this is f. Okay. Okay, so we call this as 3 now. Shift the origin, shift the origin at minus d upon twice a minus e upon twice c, minus e upon twice c. Then what happened? Okay, so then what? Capital X is equal to capital X is equal to capital X, small x is equal to small x prime, because this equation is transferred. Okay, so x prime is equal to capital X plus h, y prime is equal to capital Y plus k, capital Y plus k. Okay, so this implies that x prime is equal to x minus d upon twice a, y prime is equal to capital Y minus e upon twice c. Okay, equation 3 is transformed to which is the equation 3? This equation 3. This is equation 3. So what is this? X prime. See, the x prime will be this d upon twice a shift here. Then x prime plus d upon twice a is what? Capital X. So this is what? Capital X square plus c. This is capital Y square. I will say this is k. Where? So I will give the number. This is 4. Where d k is equal to d square upon 4a plus e square upon 4c minus f. Okay. Now see here. This I call this as 4. Okay. So if k is equal to, note that your this a and c are not equal, are not 0 also. Okay, so that way I have done that. Okay, a and c are not equal to 0, they are not equal. Okay, no problem. If k is equal to 0, so k is equal to 0, then what is this? Ax square plus cy square. Okay, so equation 4, then equation 4 is a homogeneous equation of degree 2. Okay, so therefore it represent a pair of lines passing through origin. So this is familiar to you. So in the 12th standard you have seen the pair of lines. You have seen that every homogeneous equation of second degree represent a pair of lines passing through origin. So that is the theorem. So that we have seen this. Just we have applied here. So suppose k not equal to 0, and now k not equal to 0. So k not equal to 0. So how we can write? Okay, I have to write that 2. I need that 2. So what is your 2? Just I have erased that. Plus by prime square plus C x prime this is C y prime square. Okay, dx prime d y prime plus f is equal to 0. This is your 2. Okay, I need that. So okay. Now where we get this? This is what? A x square plus C y square is equal to k. This is your 4. Okay. Okay. So this will be what then? Capital X square upon. I am shifting this k here. Okay. So just we will write this k here plus C y square upon k is equal to 1. I can write this is what? X square upon k upon a plus y square upon k upon c is equal to 1. I will call this as a 5. Okay, this is same as equation 1. Okay, so equation 2 and then equation 4. This is equation 5. 4 and 5 are the same now here. Okay, so equation 4 means equation 1. Means 4 means equation 2 and equation 2 means equation 1. Like this. Now here what? If k upon a and k upon c are positive, then equation 5 represent an ellipse because x square upon a square plus y square upon b square is equal to 1. A square and b square are always positive. If k upon a and k upon c are negative, both are the negative, then equation 1 represent an imaginary ellipse. If k upon a and k upon c have opposite sign, then equation here 5. Equation 5. Okay, 5 means 1. Equation 5 represent hyperbola. Okay, so that is what only parabola remains. Okay, only parabola remains. So now what here from equation 2 what we have taken? A not if a and c are equal, then it represents a circle. A not equal to c and both a and c are not equal to 0. Then we have proved that this represents a hyperbola ellipse. Okay. Now if a not equal to 0 and c is equal to 0, or a is equal to 0 and c not equal to 0, that means one of the cases a not equal to 0, c is 0. If a is equal to 0, c not equal to 0, then we can prove equation 2 represent parabola. Because what? Because see, if you have x prime square plus dx prime plus c plus ey prime plus m is equal to 0, this remains. Suppose c is equal to 0, then you can collect this and you can do. So this is of the form what? X square is equal to some terms in terms of y. So this is the parabola. Easily we can prove this one by perfect square method. You can do this one, and you have to shift the origin also. Okay. So thus in any case, equation 1 represent a conic. Okay, so we have proved this. This is very important theorem and important result also. Now we are interested to convert this general equation of second degree in terms of a standard form. Okay, so you know that this y square is equal to 4ax or x square is equal to 4by, x square upon a square plus y square upon b square is equal to 1, x square upon a square minus y square upon b square is equal to 1. These are the standard form of the conic. These are the standard. This is what this represents a parabola, right? This is the standard form of the parabola. Okay, so this is the standard form of the ellipse. This is the standard form of the hyperbola. So that means what, if a second degree represents a conic, if you identify that is a parabola or hyperbola or ellipse, then you have to convert that equation into this standard form. So that we want to learn how to convert the second degree equation into the standard form. That is the point now. So that we want to learn that how to express that second degree equation into the standard form. That is the problem, and we will try to solve that problem. Okay. So reduction. Next point is what? Reduction. So before that, we will see the center of conic. Center of conic. Okay. So definition we will write first. Okay. A point in the plane. A point in the plane of conic which bisect every chord of conic passing through it is called center of the conic. Center of the conic means what? Suppose this is a circle. This is the center of the circle. Why it is called the center of the circle? If you take any chord means what? The segment joining any 2 points of the curve. Chord means what? The segment joining any 2 points of the curve. This is also chord. Okay. So what is the what? A point of the conic which bisect every chord passing of the conic passing through it. So that means what? This is, suppose this is U. If you take any chord passing through this, so if this U bisect the chord, every chord, then that is called a center. And see, you see that. So for the center, this is what here. See, any chord, this bisect means what? This, you know that this is the radius. So every chord. So this is the, because what here? The circle is the central conic. Circle has a center because there is a point which bisect every chord passing through it. Okay. So that means what? The center means what? If it bisect every chord passing through it, then that point is called the center of the conic. So we'll write a note. These are notes are very important. A conic having center is called central conic. So this point 1. Second, circle, ellipse, hyperbola are central conic. So remember this: ellipse, circle, ellipse, hyperbola, they are the central conic. And the fourth one, parabola is third one. Parabola is not central conic. Parabola is not central conic. And next, if the center of the conic is origin, then equation of conic, this is very important, an equation of conic is free from the first degree term. First degree term. That means there is no first degree term, x and y is not there. Okay, so there will be then only the second degree term and constant is there. Okay, so this is very important result we are applying here. Okay, we are applying somewhere. Okay, so we'll take a nice theorem for this. With the help of the note 4, we'll find, okay, theorem. The center of the conic, ax square plus bxy plus cy square plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0 is be minus twice cd upon 4ac minus b square bd minus twice ae upon 4ac minus b square. So denominators are same. So bcd, what bcd, okay, note that is bcd, and this is what bda. Okay, so this is bcd and this is what bda. Note that is bda and this is what bcd. Okay, so you remember this only. This 4ac minus b square is common to all. This will be the common to all. 4 is okay. 4 is there. Okay. Solution. Given that ax square plus bxy plus cy square plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0, we call this as 1. Okay, let alpha and beta be the center of the conic 1. Okay, shift the origin at alpha beta, then by equations of translation here small x, okay, x capital X plus x means alpha, y is equal to capital Y plus k means beta. Okay, so equation 1 is transformed to So we have what we want to find alpha and beta. We want the values of alpha and beta. So equation 1 is transformed to just, okay, right? This is what a. What is your x? Capital X plus alpha bracket square plus b capital X plus alpha capital Y plus beta, okay, plus c capital Y plus beta bracket square plus d capital X plus alpha plus e capital Y plus beta plus f is equal to 0. No need to expand this. We call this 2. We call this as 2. So what is this? This is a new equation. The center, this is what? The center of this conic is what? Alpha and beta. This is the center of conic. Alpha and beta is the center of this conic 2. Okay. So that means what? This is the free from the first degree term. This is the center of this conic is origin. Center of this conic is origin. Therefore, this equation is free from first degree terms. First degree terms is what? It is free from the first degree term. That means there is no x and y. That means what? So therefore, coefficient of capital X is equal to 0 and coefficient of capital Y is equal to 0. Okay, just we have to collect the coefficient of X and coefficient of Y. we don't need anything now. So we'll collect the coefficient of x and coefficient of y. First we'll collect the coefficient of x. So we'll see here. Well, whether we get x here, yes. If you take the middle term here, twice alpha x, and there is a now here, capital A there. So this is what then, twice alpha a. Okay, so this is the coefficient of x from this term. So what about here coefficient? Okay, so if you multiply this x and beta, so this is beta x. So what here? This is your capital B. Okay, so plus b beta. Okay, so write neatly b and beta. Okay, so now here what, there is no x now. Here x is there. So that is what, plus d. Plus d is equal to, we call this as, I will give this as 3 now. I will give the number 3. Okay. So this is only the coefficient of x. I have collected that, and that is equal to 0. I want to find the alpha and beta, because what we have the equation a b c d, all the values are known to you, because the equation is provided to you. That means the values of a b c d e f g f are provided to you. Only here unknown is what, alpha and beta is unknown. So we want to express alpha and beta. We want to find it. We want the equations alpha and beta in terms of a b c d e f g. A b c d e f. Okay. So you want the equation, two equations, because there are two unknown, two equations in terms of alpha and beta, equation in terms of alpha and beta, and that involve the coefficients. Okay, that a b c d e f. Okay, so we get this equation. We collect the coefficient of y from here. So here there is no y here, so y will be here now. See this y to this, right? So this is what, alpha y. This product will be there, alpha y, and then outside there is b. So this is what, alpha b will, alpha b, not beta. Okay, so I have to take the care of this one, alpha b. Okay, so alpha b we have collected it. Now here what, twice b, twice beta y, and outside there is c. So this is what, twice beta c. Okay, so twice beta c. Okay, so right here, and the last term is what here, plus e now, plus e is equal to 0. We call this as 4. Now we'll apply the Cramer's rule, and we'll find the values of alpha and beta. So this is alpha and this is beta here. Okay, the constant term is also here. Okay, so you have to shift the constant term to that side. Okay, so that means what here. Okay, we'll shift the constant term to that side. So what do we get then? Alpha is equal to coefficient of x, coefficient of alpha. Coefficient of alpha is what? Twice a upon twice a b now here. Then coefficient of beta now. This is what? B twice b. Twice b now, not beta. Oh, this is wrong now. Here what? Twice c. But coefficient of beta, beta b and twice c. Okay, so this is twice c. Now we want the value of alpha. So from this what? Delete the coefficient column of the coefficient of alpha. Instead of that, this is okay. So this is what? Minus d minus e b twice c. Then beta is equal to, your denominator is same here. So twice a b twice c. Okay. Now what here? Twice a and b will be as it is. And here what? The coefficient matrix now. The coefficient matrix is what? Minus d minus e. Okay. So now this is equal to what? This is what? Minus twice c d plus b upon 4ac minus b square. Okay, this is your alpha. Now beta is equal to what? This is 4ac minus b square. Okay, so now this is what? Minus twice ae plus bd. Okay, so now therefore the center of the conic one is where it is in terms of this. So this is what? BE minus twice CD upon 4AC minus b square. Then BD minus twice AE upon 4AC minus b square. Okay, so you should remember this formula. You should remember this formula. Okay, so this is the center of the conic. So if you want to find the center of the conic, you have to use this formula. With the help of this formula, you have to find center of the conic. You have to find the center of the conic. Remember this formula. This formula is very important. Okay. Okay, so we write the nature of the conic. This is very important. Nature of the conic. Nature of the conic. Okay. A general second degree equation in x and y is ax square plus bxy plus cy square plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. So we call this as 1. We call this as 1. So you know that delta is equal to what? So here what? A. Here what? The coefficient of y square. The coefficient of y square is what? C. And here the constant. This is f now. Okay. This is f. Constant. Okay. Now here what? Twice a. Here what? H. This is what? B by 2. This is b by 2. Right. So this is what? D by 2. Coefficient of x. D by 2. Here coefficient of y. This is e by 2. E by 2. Okay. So delta is equal to this. Okay. So if delta not equal to 0, then 1. Then equation 1 represent 1. Represent parabola if 4ac minus b square is equal to 0. If 4ac minus b square is equal to 0. So what you have to identify the locus, then just comparing this. Comparing the coefficient of this, just find the value of a, b, c, d and remember this. Okay. Second, ellipse if 4ac minus b square is greater than 0. And third, hyperbola if 4ac minus b square is less than 0. Is less than 0. So note that here we assume that delta not equal to 0. Okay. So how to remember this greater than 0, less than 0? So now if AC, note that AC is positive. If AC is positive, then this is ellipse. If AC is negative, then this is, because what? If you put B is equal to 0, if you put B is equal to 0, then your AC will be what? Positive. Right? AC will be what? Negative. Right? That means if AC is positive, then this is the ellipse. If AC is negative, then this is the hyperbola. In this way, you can remember this. But note that you should have to take the b square. Okay. So if you doesn't matter if the b square is not there, then also what? AC is greater than 0, then this is the ellipse. AC is positive, but this is not a standard rule. AC is positive, then this is. This is for our convenience. So how to remember that? That is the convenience. So that means what? Here the product term is absent now here. If product is absent, then it is the criteria. To identify the locus if the product term is absent. Okay. So this is what? AC is positive, then this is ellipse, and AC is negative, then this is the hyperbola. Okay. So in this way you can remember the nature of the conic. Okay. So now we will stop here. Thank you.